chose the best man to be the best prophet and the best messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said his mom was visiting a different tribe, and or her tribe from, the different location. And subhanAllah, the moment she arrived to her tribe, Zayd's mom, with her son, and they were attacked by another tribe. As you know, this is an ongoing thing between the Arab tribes and the Arabian Peninsula. They attacking each other before Islam. They were probably, each tribe have their own territory. They have their borders. Nobody could come across, but each one like probably 2 miles by 2 miles. So they have 3,000 countries in that little place, subhanAllah. So subhanAllah, this is the way, highway robbers, if you want to call it. And when they got there, they took everything, including Zayd, and one of the war spoil was Zayd bin Haritha, and he was 8 years old only at that time. And then, as you know, whatever they take, they sell it. There's a place called Ukad, Ukad was a marketplace, very famous. People come sell and buy there, and something for poetry and the poem, they used to compete there and so on. So during that, they offer him to a man, his name Hakim ibn Huzam ibn Khuwaylid, which is the nephew of Khadija bint Khuwaylid radiyallahu anha. So he bought him for 400 dirham, very cheap, subhanAllah, and came back, and he bought a few kids with him. It's a free market. Like remember, it said the slavery back in the days has nothing to do with color. Anyone could be a slave within no time. As Salman radiallahu anhu, remember the story of Salman? He was one of the noble people. His father was the emir, became a slave. So the thing is, has not to do with the color. Later on, they came up with this color thing, subhanAllah. So Khadija, when she heard her nephew coming back from his traveling, or whatever he was somewhere, she went there, she greeted him and so on. And said, "Oh aunt, oh amma, I have all these kids. Choose the best, choose whatever you want as a gift for you." So she looked at him. This is what checking. She looked at Zayd. She found Zayd. He looked like a smart guy. Smart young boy. He could be helpful, subhanAllah. And she took him. Within a short period of time, she got married to the Prophet ﷺ. And he was not a prophet. He was 25 years old. Then he became prophet till 15 years later. And when she got married to him, she wanted to gift him something. He said, "What about I gift you this young boy? He's yours. It's not mine no more, subhanAllah." She said, "This is the best thing I can give to you right now." Imagine how lucky was Zayd at that time. He took care of him. He saw the akhlaq, the morals, the adab, the mercy, the kindness from the Prophet ﷺ to him. He never seen or heard about something like this in his life. But his mom back home crying, by non-stop crying. Zayd's mom. Imagine a mother, someone took her son and she didn't know yet whether he alive so she can look for him or dead so she can give up. This is tough, If someone dies at the beginning, it will become very difficult. But you submit. He's dead, or she is dead. But now you didn't know. You didn't know whether he's alive or dead. So subhanAllah, then his father, same thing, was very sad. He's also a father. He said, "I'm not going to go any place in the face of this planet unless I find my son. I wish if I know he's alive or dead." Difficult, very difficult, subhanAllah. And one time during the Hajj season, as you remember, we said the Arabs used to make Hajj to Mecca, whether before Islam, since the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So one of his people, Zayd from Bani Ka'b, they were from Bani Ka'b, the tribe of Ka'b, they came to Hajj and they saw Zayd. He's 8 years old, he's active, running around and so on. They know right away. They know that's Zayd. And they asked him, "Are you Zayd?" He said, "Yeah, I'm Zayd." So right away, they went back to his father, and they told him, "We saw Zayd in Mecca." Right away, his father got himself together, got the money for the ransom, because you cannot take him. You have to pay for his son. It's not his anymore. That's the rules. Somehow, this is the laws. SubhanAllah, he said he got some money, and he took his brother's name Ka'b, he took him with him, and they went quickly to Mecca, with non-stop trip, subhanAllah. When they got there, they know he is with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Again, he was only Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then right away went there, and they know who is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and they said, Yabna Abdul Muttalib, oh, the son of Abdul Muttalib. His father was very famous, grandfather, very famous, known all over the Arabia, the leader of Quraysh, and Quraysh is the main tribe in the area, as you know. This is too much bakhur. I mean, it smells good, but we don't want because become like intentionally. As you know, the rules for bakhur, if you sniff it intentionally, as the smoke, you then become, but if you pass by smell, it's no big deal. So we don't want to exaggerate with that. So, so he said, Yabna Abdul Muttalib, he said, oh, the son of Abdul Muttalib, he reminded him, you are the neighbors of Allah, meaning the neighbors for the house of Allah subhanahu. Tafkun al-ani. So you help the needy, the poor, the war prisoners, you feed all the hujjaj. I mean, you as the noble family, subhanAllah. And we are here seeking our son. And we have the money. You can ask anything. Just, I want my son. Imagine someone, subhanAllah, whatever you want. SubhanAllah, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he doesn't know. He said, who's your son? He didn't know, he did not connect the things that's Zayd, that's their son. That he thought he wanted to mediate with someone else. He said, who's your son? He said, the one you have at your house, Zayd. He said, this is your son? He said, yeah. He said, well, I have better offer for you. Rasulullah said, I have better offer for you. So he has better offer for you. He said, you call Zayd. If Zayd decide to go with you, give him the option. He goes with you or stay with me, whatever you want. If he wants you, I don't want any money. And he could ask anything he wants. And there's nothing wrong with that, according to their laws and traditions and so on, and way of life. He said, if he chose me, if he chose you, no problem. But if he chose me, I'm not going to let him go. I'm not going to force him to go with you. Fair enough, he said, the father said, this is beyond fair. No one have a doubt in his head that his son going to choose over, to choose his master, which being a slave, over his father. He said, this is beyond fair. So he calls there, he said, who are these two? He said, this is my father, and this is my uncle. So no doubt, this is it, subhanAllah. So Prophet ﷺ told him, you have the choice. Either you stay with me or you go with them. If you want, and you are more than welcome to stay with me, and if you want, you can go with them. Without hesitation, right away, he said, Bel uqim ma'ak. I will stay, indeed, I will stay with you. He's not a prophet yet. So the father said, Wayhak, woe to you. How could you choose to be a slave over going back to your mother and father? Because this is unbelievable when you think about it. Rather being a slave over being with your parents? SubhanAllah. He said, well, I have saw with this man something I cannot forget. I never practiced, I never seen, I never heard of. The akhlaq and the mercy and the kindness with this man, I never seen something like this. So I'm not choosing anyone over this man. Mind you, he's not a prophet yet. Always remember that, subhanAllah. So when Prophet ﷺ heard that young boy saying that, he took him to the middle of Kaaba, the Haram. And Quraysh, as you know, remember, he used to gather all the time. He said, oh Quraysh, Zayd is my son. You are my witness. I'll inherit him if he die, and he inherit from me if I die. So from now on, his name is Zayd ibn Muhammad. Zayd the son. SubhanAllah. Right away. Until he was called, everyone was known as Zayd ibn Muhammad, till Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayat, became Prophet ﷺ a prophet, and Allah revealed Surah Al-Ahzab, said, Ad'uhum li'abaihim. Then become haram to take someone else's name or last name. You can adopt, you can help, you could do whatever, but you cannot give your name or last name to your adopted child. So he became back Zayd ibn Haritha again. SubhanAllah, Zayd, when he chose the Prophet ﷺ, he never knew this is going to be the man, the leader, or the master of the humanity, or every human being. He never knew he's going to be Sayyid al-Awwaleen wal-Akhirin. He never knew he's going to be the best man from Adam all the way to the day of judgment. He just chose him as his family. He didn't know that this is the jackpot he's winning there, subhanAllah. He never thought this is the man living with his wife and a few kids and in Mecca, in a small city, gonna establish the biggest country or the biggest empire ever existed, and subhanAllah, and which has filled the land of justice and fairness and kindness and so on. They never thought it's going to be a great country led or established by this man. SubhanAllah, this is, never thought of it, SubhanAllah. But this is, they call it, bil-Arabi, فَضْلُ يُؤْتِيهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. This is a gift from Allah, gives it to whomever He wants. He chose him, as He chose the Sahaba. He chose one of the Sahaba, Zayd, radiallahu anhu wa ardah. So, SubhanAllah, then within, they said, SubhanAllah, within a few years, Islam became, SubhanAllah, the wahi came to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Zayd was, they said, the first man who embraced Islam. Of course, we know Ali and Abu Bakr and Zayd. However, the first three. So who was first? Allah. They said the first person was Khadija, definitely. Khadija radiallahu anha, she was the first person. They said the first young boy was Ali. The first man, adult, was Abu Bakr, probably he the first young man. But there are the first three ever embraced Islam, subhanAllah. Then he became the secret keeper, and when he leaves Medina, he's in charge of Medina. A lot of times, many times, Zayd was in charge of the Medina. And he says, subhanAllah, as Zayd loved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved him more. Till he became Hibbu Rasulullah. He's the love of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they said. And not only him, even Usama, his son. Usama, no one, when there's some issues, they cannot talk to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they send Usama to talk to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When you have like your younger child, this was Usama to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Go, can you talk to Baba, basically? Can you talk to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Right away, he used to call Usama. And they lived together and so on. And subhanAllah, one time, he left somewhere, Zayd, and then someone knocked on the door. Said, this is Zayd. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was like, basically, was topless, was like from showing his shoulder and so on. He said, he ran. There's no way to live like this, he said. But when he hears Zayd, out of the happens, he ran to welcome Zayd, radiallahu anhu. He did not even think about anything, what to do, subhanAllah. He said, I never seen Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam act like this with anyone before or after. So it was the first and last time. That much love to have Zayd, subhanAllah. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved Zayd. They used to call him Zayd al-Hub, the loved Zayd, or Zayd al-Khair, or so on, or Hibbu Rasulullah, the love for Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And same thing like we said, his son. In the 8th year of Hijrah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah wanted to test the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He sent some people to the king of Busra. Busra, in the southern city, suburb of my city, basically in Syria. They called Busra. There's Basra in Iraq, and right? So Busra, he was a king, was part of the main cities of the Roman Empire. And subhanAllah, and he sent them there, and the way there to go to Busra, give him a letter as he used to send delegations to invite people to Islam. He sent this group of people, was a man, and he told him, take his way there. There's some part, the Arabic Christian, they call them al-Ghassasina. They used to live in the southern part of Syria, the north part of Jordan, and all the way together they were like allies with the Roman. So they grabbed the messenger of the Prophet ﷺ, al-Harith ibn Umayr al-Azdi, and they killed him. So the Prophet ﷺ became so angry. He said, this never happened. You killed like basically the foreign minister. There's no one would do that. Even the kuffar, the Muslimin, Arabs, non-Arabs, no one would do that. So this was something like unacceptable. Rasul ﷺ, he prepared 3,000 soldiers to go there to revenge from them, subhanAllah. And he said, Zayd will be in charge of the army. He's in charge, subhanAllah. He said if Zayd get killed or injured, then Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, which is his cousin, the Prophet ﷺ's cousin, if something happened to Ja'far, it would be Abdullah ibn Rawaha, subhanAllah. The army went to the city called Ma'an in Jordan, which is the south part of Jordan. Called city, and then called Ma'an, I think the south part. Then the Roman leader, and he got 100,000 soldiers. When he heard the Muslim coming back to revenge, he sent 100,000 soldiers. and the allies from the Arabs, they sent in 100,000 people, soldiers. So 200,000 versus 3,000. They call the Battle of Mu'tah. So subhanAllah, then the Muslimin, they were debating, should we stay, should we go back? Let's write to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How could we fight? 1 versus 70 is impossible, subhanAllah. Then some of the Sahaba said, we never won the battle because of the number. They always out more than us, subhanAllah. And said, move on, we're here for the Sabilillah, we're not going back, subhanAllah. Either we die as shaheed or we win the battle. Then subhanAllah, the Muslimin, they fought like in a way unbelievable. The Romans, they said they couldn't believe the 3,000 are going to fight 200,000. This is like, there's no way, subhanAllah. So, and then Zayd ibn Haritha radiallahu anhu, he fought as the best fighter in the battle, subhanAllah, till he died as a shaheed. When they checked his body, there was 100 stabs in his body. He was stabbed 100 times. He was injured or wounded for 100 spots in his body. Then Ja'far took over. Ja'far also died as shaheed. Then Abdullah ibn Rawaha died as shaheed. And it was one of the miracles Rasulullah used to give the Sahaba live broadcast, basically said, this would happen, this would happen. He was in Medina, about 1,000, could be like about 5, 6, could be 1,000 miles away from there, subhanAllah. Then he sent Khan Walid. Khan Walid did the thing, which is he left the battlefield in a way, in the smartest way, without being run away, and moved back to Mecca to save the army. Otherwise, the 3,000 people will be killed there, subhanAllah. Then Rasulullah, when he heard the Sahaba died, and he found out, he was really very sad, and he was going from one house to another to give his condolences. And then he went to Zayd's house, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his daughter came run to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, little baby, crying to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then Rasulullah started crying more than her. So Sa'd ibn Ubadah said, what is this, Ya Rasulullah? I mean, he said, this is the love for the Habib over his loved one. So when you love someone, you cry this much and you'll be hurt this much. So this was the story of Zayd ibn Haritha radiallahu anhu wa ardah. May Allah be pleased with him and the Sahaba, to be continued inshallah tomorrow. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a life.